in practice drills, the #1 defense can't stop them. People take notice of that, and the more that the players see it, they're gonna. Then the comments start happening over the lunch table. They start happening throughout the building, and that's when the pressure really will get severe.
Shed, you mentioned, what do they have next year in the draft?
2 first-round draft picks, their own pick and Jacksonville's pick.
It's got to play into it.
When Jason Kelce speaks, the NFL usually shuts up and listens. But this time, he didn't just talk. He lit a fuse under Cleveland. The Browns owner didn't take it like a pro either. He went off like an angry uncle at Thanksgiving after one too many beers. What started as a casual warning turned into a full-blown football feud that's now burning hotter than a tailgate grill in the dog pound. Jason Kelce, the man built like a statue powered by beard oil and chaos, just went from Super Bowl legend to Cleveland's new prophet of doom. The Browns thought their biggest problem this season was explaining Deshaun Watson's contract without bursting into nervous laughter. But nah, that was child's play. Out of nowhere, Kelce rides in like Gandalf in shoulder pads, waving the warning flag and shouting that danger's on the way. In Cleveland? Oh, they took that personally. Any other city would have laughed it off, maybe argued about chili recipes or fantasy stats, but Cleveland doesn't do calm.
Somebody on the Cleveland Browns is 100% getting fired, probably by the end of this year. The person who's probably going to end up getting fired is Kevin Stefanski, because I know that he didn't want Shedeur Sanders on the team. It was Andrew Berry who made that pick. You can't really go against your GM. Bad things happen in this situation. But Shedeur Sanders is not without fault for what we saw yesterday. This is the play that we saw yesterday that has the internet just exploding, where Shedeur Sanders took like a 24-yard sack. Half of the internet is saying that
These fans have lived through heartbreak like it's an annual tradition. Fumbles, collapses, and quarterbacks who vanish faster than a viral TikTok trend. They don't just hear warnings, they see prophecy. So when Kelce basically said, "Cleveland, you're in trouble," the city didn't flinch. It erupted. And that's when the Browns owner snapped. The man runs his franchise like a dad trying to fix a broken sink with duct tape, caffeine, and misplaced confidence. Instead of responding with strategy, he came out swinging with pure, unfiltered fury. You could practically hear him screaming through the walls. How dare anyone point out the obvious about our team? The audacity, the drama. Cleveland just turned a simple NFL comment into a citywide showdown. And this time, the spotlight's not on the players. It's on the pride. Because that's the Browns in one perfect sentence, a franchise built on pure, beautiful chaos.
Listen, what do I want to watch? I want to watch Shedeur Sanders.
Who doesn't want to watch that? The world
Listen.
wants to see him go out there and not only play but have success. At this point, guys are rooting for him. This isn't anything against Dylan. This isn't anything against Joe. I'm just saying the excitement is there for him to go out there. He's going to put eyes on the screen. He is going to bring people to the game. It is what it is, man. I would love to.
You don't need analytics, stats, or next-gen charts to understand it. Just look at that sideline. One coach is standing there questioning every life choice he's ever made. Another is chewing gum like it stole from him. And the quarterback, he's got that blank stare, the one that screams, "What did I just sign up for?" It's tragic comedy in real time. But here's the twist. Jason Kelce isn't just another loud voice in the NFL crowd. He's the older brother in America's favorite sibling rivalry, the man who went from flattening 300-pound linemen to lighting up microphones and calling out nonsense wherever he sees it. When Kelce talks, the league listens. Everyone except Cleveland, that is. In Cleveland, listening is apparently an elective course no one takes. Instead of saying, "Maybe he's got a point," the Browns owner dove straight into emotional meltdown mode. And let's be honest, Cleveland doesn't exactly have a history of ignoring good advice and walking away victorious. Kelce's warning wasn't a cheap shot. It was practically a public service announcement. Hey, maybe try not to crash the car again this season. But instead of saying thanks, the Browns brass acted like someone insulted their entire bloodline. You could almost hear the steam whistle from the owner's office. That outrage, pure, glorious, Cleveland outrage, shouting, "We've been mediocre on our own terms for decades.
everything is a test when it comes to Shedeur and the Browns. Not just how are you with your teammates, the playbook, all of that, but, you know, they were very upset about the speeding tickets. Obviously, that was a negative. You know, everything, you're being judged by every little thing, and the fact that he took himself out of practice because his arm is sore. Again, I'm not questioning how hurt he is, but if you're not injured and you do take yourself out.
Thank you very much. No advice needed. No outside opinions allowed. It's the same cycle every year. New coaches, new quarterbacks, new dreams, all on repeat like bad karaoke. Yet the moment someone dares to say the obvious, that the trouble's already brewing, Cleveland loses its mind all over again. They're acting like Jason Kelce insulted the entire honor of Cleveland. But let's keep it real. This city's been warned before, over and over, by its own cursed football history. Every single season starts with optimism so thick you could spread it on toast. It's like when your cousin calls out your fantasy draft and says it's trash. Deep down, you already knew it, but hearing it out loud still makes your blood boil. And here's the part that makes this whole mess delicious. Kelce doesn't even have a dog in this fight. He's retired. He's not lacing up against the Browns or chasing contracts. He's just chilling somewhere with a drink in his hand, casually tossing verbal grenades into the chaos for sport. That's what makes the Browns owner's meltdown even funnier. He's basically arguing with a man who's already won his Super Bowl, cashed his checks, and walked away with zero stress. Meanwhile, Cleveland fans are split straight down the middle. Half of them are nodding like, yeah, he's got a point, while the other half are screaming,
with the lowest cab drivers you couldn't even get on 5th Street. And I'm pissed off, bro, because the play calling was abysmal. Look, even if you don't like Shedeur didn't even get a chance to be trash. Even if you think Shedeur is garbage, he didn't even get a chance to be garbage. That's how awful the offensive line was. Kevin Stefanski still doesn't want to give Shedeur second strings and first strings reps. Why is that? Now, what's more horrible about this game was it was to the point on every...
Don't you dare disrespect our mediocrity. Because being a Browns fan isn't just fandom, it's a full-blown belief system. You pray for miracles, endure heartbreak, and still show up every Sunday like it's sacred duty. It's pain mixed with loyalty, sprinkled with eternal hope. And if the owner really wanted to prove Kelce wrong, all he had to do was stay quiet and let the scoreboard do the talking. But no, instead of focusing on winning, he got caught up in his feelings. That's the punchline right there. The Browns stay so busy being offended by what outsiders say, they forget to silence the noise the one way that actually matters, by winning games. So yeah, Kelce might have lit the spark, but the Browns owner, he dumped the whole spice rack into the fire. And now the NFL's watching the flames like it's the hottest new drama on premium cable, because at the end of the day, that's what football really feeds on. Storylines.
The Cleveland Browns. So they throw Joe Flacco in there, and I like Joe Flacco. He did good, but they gave him the resource of all the first-team guys. Then they throw Dylan Gabriel in there with first teams and second teams. So Dylan always is getting protected. The same thing again, they gave this scrub max protection on every play. Yeah, he completed some passes, but let's talk about his mistakes. He's still inconsistent with his throws, but he at least had max protection.
And Cleveland just gifted the NFL a storyline so wild, so petty, and so hilariously chaotic that nobody can look away. Jason Kelce didn't just warn Cleveland, he exposed them. And when the Browns owner snapped back in fury, that wasn't a defense, that was a confession. His meltdown wasn't the ending. It was Act 1 in Cleveland's newest tragic comedy, because when a man like Jason Kelce drops a warning shot, smart teams pause and listen. But not Cleveland. They spiral. And this time, they spiraled harder than a quarterback, backpedaling on 4th and 27 with nowhere to go. Fans have literally celebrated seasons of losing, and somehow this meltdown still managed to top that level of comedy gold. The owner's fiery clapback wasn't intimidating. It was like watching someone light a sparkler and pretend they detonated a bomb. And that's the juicy part.
Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders in week 1. Kenny Pickett had a hamstring injury. It makes it easy to go with Joe Flacco. And the question isn't and wasn't going to be who's the starter in Cleveland. The question is who's going to be the backup in Cleveland? Who's going to be the number 2 quarterback.
By snapping back so aggressively, Cleveland basically proved Kelce right. It's the classic Browns logic. Someone says, "Hey, your house might flood," and instead of checking the basement, they scream at the person who mentioned water. It's like a citywide reflex. Don't fix the issue, just roast the messenger until the crowd forgets what the warning was about. But here's what makes it even more ridiculous. Kelce wasn't even chasing drama. The man's retired. He's living his best life. Podcasting, dadding, sipping beers on TV, and trending on social media without even trying. He's not studying film or dodging 300-pound linemen anymore. He's just vibing and speaking his truth. And Cleveland, they took his chill warning and turned it into an NFL soap opera. If the Browns owner had just said nothing, he might have walked away looking cool and unbothered. Silence would have been classy. Silence would have been powerful. But instead, we got fireworks, emotional, explosive, and messy fireworks. And let's be honest, nothing sells in the NFL quite like drama and explosions. Now the media's got a field day running slow-mo clips of Jason Kelce's beard while cutting to shots of Cleveland's meltdown. And somewhere, Kelce's probably laughing into his drink saying, "I told you so."
I don't necessarily trust this coaching staff to develop a quarterback or to evaluate the quarterback position. They've made some really oddball decisions at this position over the last several years, and I don't blame anybody for questioning, do these guys actually know what they're doing?
I don't think that's unfair at all. The thing I would say is that they're desperate.
Oh, the talk shows are eating good off this one. Sports hosts are drooling for new segments. Philly fans are watching it all unfold with popcorn in hand. And Pittsburgh fans, they're laughing so hard they might carry the joke straight into next season. Once again, the Browns, in their never-ending quest to prove they matter, took a harmless comment and turned it into a full-blown daytime drama. And the NFL, it lives for this kind of chaos. The league feeds on conflict because conflict keeps everyone entertained and distracted from the harsh truth. And that truth is simple. Cleveland still has to play football. All that fiery trash talk isn't going to block a blitz or stop Lamar Jackson from turning the field into his personal highlight reel.
Couple days, 3 days until roster cutdowns. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like you belong here on this team?
Obviously, I think overall as a player, I feel like I put in the work. I feel like everything I do, I try to do it to my best, and that's all I ask for. So I feel like everybody feels like, they should be on the team, and if you ask anybody on the team, would they feel like they belong, in their own eyes. So I feel like I do, but I'm my own player, I think about myself in a high regard.
But sure, let's waste valuable practice time proving Jason Kelce wrong with angry sound bites instead of touchdowns. Genius move, right? Now let's get into the psychology behind it. Jason Kelce isn't just any NFL vet. He's the big brother in America's favorite football family. Travis Kelce might be Taylor Swift's red carpet date, but Jason, he's the one holding the mic and throwing truth bombs from the comfort of retirement. His family's been splashed across pop culture for a whole year. So when he throws shade at Cleveland, it's not just a football story anymore. It's mainstream gossip, baby.
See it at this point has to be with if one of the veteran quarterbacks during the Eagles and the Panthers just looked bad, then all of a sudden they're like, oh, okay, well, let's see what we can do with this, and maybe he might earn the reps. And then the second big thing is, he has to light it up when it comes to the preseason games. I told you, the dinking and dunking, where you at the pecking order at this point, that ain't gonna get it done. You have to.
And that's what stings. The Browns owner didn't just snap back at a former lineman. He accidentally picked a fight with a media-savvy celebrity whose every word trends. Now Cleveland looks defensive, insecure, and desperate to sound confident. Kind of like the kid insisting, "I'm not crying," while his eyes are clearly red. Everyone can see the truth. The louder they talk, the clearer it gets. Jason hit a nerve. That's the beauty of this whole saga. It's self-inflicted comedy. Jason Kelce didn't destroy the Browns. They did that all on their own by overreacting. And when you zoom out, Cleveland isn't just a football team anymore. It's a running experiment in chaos. Every time they crawl near relevance, something goes horribly wrong. A fumble, a missed kick, a quarterback injury, or just plain bad timing. It's like watching a sitcom that refuses to end. Same heartbreak, new episode every season. So when Kelce pointed that out, it wasn't some deep revelation. It was just the truth everyone already knew. Except Cleveland, of course.
The only person I've seen ball after 40 is Tom Brady. At the end of the day, when you look at this, think about this. The Baltimore Ravens decided almost a decade ago he was washed. What are you talking about? They own a second quarterback. No disrespect, but Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders cannot possibly be as worse as what Joe Flacco is at this point. And guess what? Have a day, Cleveland Browns. Do yourself a favor. You already went with the youth movement. Turns out that half the best players on your team.
It was obvious, painfully obvious, but the Browns owner lost his mind anyway. That's the thing about denial. It's what turns a simple comment into a full-blown circus. And the timing couldn't be worse. The NFL season's about to kick off, and everyone's watching to see who's strong, who's shaky, and who's just flat out delusional. Cleveland. Oh, they're putting all three on display like it's a parade of dysfunction. The cracks are showing, and now the water's rushing through for the world to see. And you already know what comes next. Every loss, every interception, every embarrassing moment this season will be replayed side by side with Jason Kelce's warning plastered on the screen in bold letters. Every time a receiver drops a pass or a lineman misses a block, the internet will roar. He told you so. And when that happens, the owner's meltdown becomes the cherry on top of this tragic Sunday. The receipts will resurface, the clips will flood timelines, and social media will do what it does best, laugh without mercy. This is classic Cleveland. Just when they could have stayed quiet, locked in, and proven everyone wrong with actual wins, they grabbed the mic and proved everyone right instead. Kelce didn't just warn them, he handed them a free spotlight, and instead of stepping aside, they strutted right into it and face-planted in public. You can't make this up.
Oh, fan, we clearly know what you did. We clearly know that the plays that you gave for Dylan Gabriel, throwing the check down underneath to make him look good. Same plays for Flacco. Then you throw Shedeur in the game with a tight end whose name ain't even on the roster, and some other players. And then you have them run long routes.
The funniest part, Jason Kelce probably doesn't even remember saying it. He's moved on. Living peaceful, retired, probably grilling somewhere or recording a podcast while Cleveland is still holding emergency meetings, crafting press statements, and acting like his words were carved onto stone tablets. That's the irony. When someone shines a light on dysfunction, insecure people don't fix the problem. They scream at the light, and that's exactly what Cleveland's owner did. He didn't silence his critics, he confirmed every single one of them. The beauty of it all is in the inevitability. Every blown coverage, every third down meltdown, every wild head-scratching play call will echo Jason Kelce's warning louder than he ever said it himself.
For the Cleveland Browns.
How about that?
Friday night in their preseason opener.
I'd be excited, obviously, if I'm a Browns fan. Like the fact that you get to see him, like that's fun. Like if you're a fan of that team, that's fun that you get to see this guy that is this huge polarizing figure, especially coming out of this NFL draft. I wonder if it's kind of a disservice to him, though.
How?
Because he's been the fourth string quarterback. Like, and you're just kind of throwing him in there. I don't know.
If I'm the fourth string quarterback and I get named the starter, I want it. How do you move up the depth chart?
And when the Browns stumble, because let's be real, history says they will. That furious snapback from the owner will age worse than a gallon of milk left out in the August sun. It's poetic, tragic, and so perfectly Cleveland. So here we are. Jason Kelce tosses out a simple warning like it's nothing, and the Browns owner explodes like a 4th of July firework with a bad fuse. The whole NFL is sitting back in amusement, watching the chaos unfold like it's reality TV. It's peak Cleveland energy, fighting imaginary enemies while the real problems are marching straight at them on the field. And when the heartbreak inevitably hits again this season, fans won't remember the excuses or the press conferences. They'll remember the prophecy, the warning that came from Jason Kelce, of all people, the man who didn't even have to try to expose them. They did it themselves. So if you made it this far, make sure to like, subscribe, and share, because this story isn't over yet. See you on the next one.